Hey guys, welcome back to PsychSink. I started filming this video because of the Instagram poll where you guys wanted to see a video on on visualization as opposed to problem solving, which FYI, the problem solving video was done and ready to go, but here we are filming it anew because you guys wanted to see this one instead. So this is a story about visualization and how I used to be very skeptical about it because, growing up I read The Secret and all this stuff and I was like, okay, this is a bunch of garbage because how is this possible? How can you manifest something into your life? And is that even a concept? Is that even scientifically valid? How can we validate that as a concept apart from like energetic fields? So I was very confused about the whole affair. And then just in general, I was skeptical. But nonetheless, I was like, you know what? As I'm progressing through my goals in life and I'm trying to tackle certain things, I'm going to try to use this as a tool. I don't have to believe in it. I don't have to even no, you do have to believe in it, but I don't have to 100% expect it to work, but I can just try it out with kind of hope and just faith. And in faith, maybe something will come of it. I saw no issue with trying this out and giving it kind of like a test run. So for those of you who don't know, visualization is kind of like you imagine an outcome and then you kind of work towards that outcome, but you are already in the mental state of having achieved that outcome or having gained that outcome. The logic behind it is that if your energy matches the energy that you will be while you're at that outcome, then you're already energetically inclined to achieve it because you're going to attract it. So if you're already in the mental state that, okay, yeah, I've done this, I've received this, I've achieved this, then you're more likely to attract that same energy and then you will become that in the 3D world. That's logic behind it. So I decided to give this a test run, and this is exactly how I won the biggest case competition in Canada. Now, I know this is sound, apart from the hard work and the research and going through many, many nights of just like absolutely like no sleep and being really nervous beforehand. Well, it's hard to attribute the success to this. However, this is one facet of how I achieved it. What I used to do, and just to give you a summary of this case comp, it basically covered 3 rounds. In every round, you'd come from a big pool of candidates and you'd filter through. So it started off with 300 something candidates. Then from 300 it went to 25. From 25 it went to 10. And from 10 it went to the winner. So among those 10, there was, third place, second place, and first place. That was how the rounds operated. And those rounds spanned from, I do believe, February to April, or roughly so. So roughly 3 months, basically. So that's kind of the timeline for this whole competition. Now, given the fact that I'd never actually done this successfully or tried to do it successfully or really enlisted the support of visualization, I was just like, how am I even going to go about it? Like, how am I even going to do it? What I decided to do was use my notes app in my phone to write down the message I would receive after having completed that round. So I didn't necessarily write the end goal, but I wrote the message, the email I would get after every round. And all those emails were obviously successful round completion. So for example, I would write, "Dear my name," and then it'd be like, "Congratulations, we wanted to inform you that you've made it to the next round in Canada's Next Top Ad Exec." So I would do that, right? And what that allowed me to do was read the message that I would have to receive in order to move on to the next round. So I would do that frequently for every round, basically. I did that for the first round, I did that for the second round, and then I did it for the third round. And in my phone, I actually found an example of one of those. Now, this is actually, this is the diluted version. So what I did was, I deleted the actual note I took at that point in time, but this is kind of a summary of it. So this is essentially the essence of it, but it's not formatted in the way that the email would be formatted. So this is the note. Oh god. Okay, so as you can see, that's the time frame. So it was February. Okay, because I visited the app at this point. I visited the note at this point. So basically, it's like sending a message that you would theoretically get. Now, that one, like I said, is not formatted as an email would be formatted, but just to show you kind of the language I would use, how I wouldn't say, you're going to win. It's more like it's as if the person who would give me the result is talking to me through email. And that's the kind of visualization I used throughout the whole competition. Now, I cannot filter through all the variables and assign causation to anything because it's just impossible. There's no way to validate this in any single way. There's just no way. So what I can offer you is a little bit of facts around it, and then you can decide whether this is a mere coincidence or whether it actually is supported by, the visualization claim. It was a very difficult competition. It was in technology, so my partner and I don't have much of a background in tech. And we actually competed with all business schools in Canada. So it was like a national case comp. So it was a pretty hefty thing. Like, it wasn't, something that's more simple. It did require a lot more mental effort and research and just like really giving it our all. So naturally, because we gave it our all, like that was illustrated in the results, but something that's as difficult, like something that could go either way in the sense of when you're at the top 10, a lot of presentations are amazing. A lot of presentations have a lot of research and effort put into them. A lot of them are creative. A lot of them have a lot of, a lot of them use a lot. And they have a lot of an interesting take on the issue, on the case presented. So the likelihood of actually winning, I would assume, is pretty low. And the fact that we won, you can attribute to visualization, you can attribute to a bunch of other factors. But nonetheless, this solidified the fact that if you do align yourself with an outcome and you believe that it will happen enough to visualize it and then repeatedly visualize it, you will get it. Whether it's now or later, that is the process of goal setting and assuming you will get it to the point that you make it a reality. And whether you're aligning yourself energetically or it's just like, you're just so ready to get that outcome that you'll do anything kind of thing, both of those scenarios will ensure a higher likelihood of you getting that outcome. So that is essentially how I used visualization to motivate me and even bring it closer to me. And I believed it would happen, therefore I worked even harder to get it. That's the video. I'd like to know your thoughts on it. I myself am very interested in this topic, so any story that you have that is kind of similar to mine, or like you've seen it in action, or maybe a friend of yours has used this technique or something like that, please let me know because I'm very curious. I've been reading up on it and how it ties into just our daily 3D reality. Thanks for watching, people. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.